and they can't use their smoke to their advantage anymore. Get Right though doesn't see them coming. Exist now gets himself into a nice position. Close quarter. Exist gets a frag onto Folik, even though Folik almost took him out, and Get Right with another one to cover. Exist kills Pungziller, so it is a 2v4. Muffy and Helsinki, the two that almost won the round last time. Helsinki already went down, but Muffy still alive and still kicking. Fiflaren though kicks him in the face, and NIP make it 8-3. Now it will be very hard for naptoR to come back. I think the spirits are going to be a little low, because they just didn't reach that kind of 4v3, or you know, when the round goes down to a 2v2 and you lose it, then you can still say, hey, at least we made it a 2v2, so keep your heads up, we will win the next round. But if you lose with 4 CTs or 3 CTs alive, then it's kind of hard to say that as a in-game leader. It's kind of hard to motivate your players, and wow, NIP just closes out the terrorists without losing a single player. It makes it even harder for naptoR to keep their heads up. And if they look at the scoreline, it isn't too good looking at the moment. But 3 rounds, if they reach 5, it would be really good for naptoR. We have seen teams come back from 11-4 already. So NIP needs to take them down once more. 3 terrorists on top of B, while the CTs have pushed Exist down into mid already. naptoR now gets pushed from behind as well. They need to hurry up. They can't waste any more time in pushing into the B bomb site, but Helsinki with a lucky blind spray onto Exist gets it back to a 4v4. Folik falls to Get Right, and there's no refrag, so the CTs maintain the 4v3 situation. Freiburg is down to 1 HP, but he could get away alive, while Helsinki helps Muffy to take out Forest in mid. They are very paranoid. They know there's somebody around there. Fiflaren gets the frag onto Muffy, who was really low, and Pungzilla and Helsinki have to work together to at least get the bomb plant. Freiburg is so low, they just need to touch him and he falls over and is dead. But Get Right now in a very cheeky position. I highly doubt that Helsinki will even check that, while Fiflaren gets rid of Pungzilla and sorry, I'm dying over here. But Get Right gets the last frag and makes it 10-3. naptoR.Factory was about, or had the slight chance of getting that round, but NIP is too coordinated for them at the moment. Exist now with the auto scope in the middle, randomly firing away, collecting some hits, but Folik gets the better of him in the end. 4v4 now thanks to Fiflaren's refrag onto Folik. And NIP has 1 player in apartments. It is Forest, and he will meet up with Gravity in a second, I think. And Muffy is in there as well. So Forest in between 2 terrorists. Let's switch over to him and see what he's up to. He's hanging around there. Muffy goes down, even though Forest has got some problems. Now he recollects himself, pulls himself together for the next frag onto Gravity. You kinda could see that he was astonished that he didn't get a frag right away. It was like click click and you're supposed to be dead, and then he's like, oh, you're not dead. Then he took a break, 1 second, fired away again, and Gravity was falling down. 2v4 in favor of NIP, and naptoR.Factory have a really hard time now that NIP figured out how they played. Fiflaren collects the bomb as well and gets himself the frag on the Pungzilla. We can take a look at the scoreboard. 17 for Exist, 16 for Fiflaren. They released the crack Laren, as he was called sometimes. Muffy with 10 on the other side, and the next one will be Gravity with 6. And NIP with the most aggressive round ever, with Laren reached second mid just some 20 seconds in the round, so he must have been sprinting all the time, having his knife out, of course. The NIP just wanted to get rid of the last round and proceed with the second half of the second map. So remember, NIP is 1-0 up in the best of 3 series. naptoR.Factory now on the CT side. The supposedly easier side, but it's not as easy as a 12-3 scoreline might suppose. And Muffy with a quick shot onto Get Right in Apartments. Makes it a 4v5, but Gravity caught himself a headshot as well and is down to 6 HP, so he needs to watch out. And Pungzilla pushed all the way down into Bananas. Got fragged by Laren then, and the terrorists are picking up the pace. They are already entering the B bomb site. Gravity was the one to rotate with 2 HP, so Laren takes him out really easily. Exist puts down the bomb next to the pond, while the others are covering, and Exist almost goes down, but Forrest is there on the tree with 2 headshots. Great aim by the Swedish player, and he even gets himself the 3rd headshot of the round onto Muffy. 13-3. The great start by NIP into the second half to save as much energy as they can. Obviously they want to try to get into the finals, and they know there are a lot of games ahead of them, so that's why they want to close out the easier opponents as fast as possible to save focus and energy. Forest opens up, but Muffy and Gravity, once again, the Echo round proves to be very strong by naptoR. Or maybe NIP is just not taking it as serious as the weapon rounds, but the save round almost always proved NIP to be troubling. Finally they captured the B-bomb site, and Pungzilla is the only one alive with the AWP of all the shotguns, the long-range Nova in his hands. He's pushing up Bananas. And waiting for exit frags. NIP though decides to exit through CT spawn. Oh, well, they reconsidered. Somebody wants to take a peek into Bananas, and it's Freiberg, and he runs into the Nova of Pungzilla. Pungzilla quickly picks up the AK and runs away with that. Tries to stay alive and save it for the next round, and he's successfully doing so. At least naptoR got himself an AK in the lineup to keep NIP from reaching the 15th round. NIP is definitely on Lana. And the force by the CTs. Will it be enough to stop NIP from collecting the 15th round and be at game point? Not only match point, but as well game point. And Pungzilla gets rid of Freiberg despite being down to 13 HP. He passes on his AK, so the team play definitely is there on the side of naptoR. And Muffy collects the next frag with existence, but gets the knife frag onto Pungzilla. What the hell happened there? They must have having a fit of laugh there. Muffy was so happy to collect the frag, he jumped back into the arms of Pungzilla. Unluckily though, he had a knife in his hand when he was jumping at him, and Muffy takes him out, so Pungzilla down, despite the good teamwork that I was talking about earlier. They right away get the get the team frag. Muffy now alone in B with 14 HP. He throws away his flash, hops around a little bit, probably still laughing his back off because of that team frag. Well, wait, I will note the round. It is the 18th round. NIP versus naptoR. Epic team play. So what happened was, Muffy got the first frag and passed his AK to Pungzilla. Pungzilla got the first frag and passed it on to Muffy. Then Muffy got the next frag and Pungzilla was standing next to him and Muffy was trying to get away again out of bananas. Unluckily, Muffy pulled out his knife to be a little faster and clicked left click. And that was the end of Pungzilla there. Or get right, got 2 frags and NIP is looking like they will finish off the match. Muffy is the only one alive and Exist gets the frag. 21 for him, 19 for Forest and 13 for Muffy in the end. So this was NIP against wait a sec, against naptoR.Factory. And I am Boo from Germany. I hope you enjoy the stream. Follow if you like. If you don't like it, just tell me what I can improve.